Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Podcast of You, a podcast series designed and maintained just for you so you can learn, grow, and to help you gain self help as you walk across your path in life. I'm Abrar, just a normal person like you who's constantly finding answers to the questions I ask myself every day. I hope you achieve what you came to seek here today, as I share my knowledge on today's particular subject. Today's topic is on self-destructive behavior. You've probably done something self-destructive at some point. We all have. Most time it's not intentional and doesn't become a habit. But sometimes you know exactly what you're doing, and the urge is too strong to control. We've all been there. It may be due to earlier life experiences. It can also be a mental health condition such as depression or anxiety. Self-destructive behavior is when you do something that's sure to cause self-harm, whether it's emotional or physical. Self-destructive behavior is more obvious, such as attempting suicide, a binge eating, compulsive activities like gambling, gaming, or shopping, impulsive behaviors such as lashing out at people, overusing alcohol and drugs, isolation from society. These are all examples of self-destructive behavior. People can attempt suicide or want to attempt suicide and trying to hurt themselves physically. The same way people who binge eat become obese and face a lot of health difficulties throughout life. People who gamble, people who game all the time, people who shop, go on shopping sprees. These are all affecting their lives and considered as self-destructive. If you have one of these habits in your life, you should work on trying to resolve them. Our society is constantly struggling through the crackdown of our brains. It has been since mankind existed. Scenarios were obviously different before, but the self-destructive behaviors could be seen among kings, peasants, even celebrities, or common men. It's all around us. Now, I've been reading this book called, you may have all heard about it, it's really famous, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. The book actually starts with the story of a self-destructive man who was always a complete loser but made it somehow later in life. They say the man made fortunes later in life, but he was still an alcoholic, a womanizer, etc. And he didn't give a damn about what the world thought of him, right? And I was thinking, how is this a self-help book? No offense to the writer or anything, but it's just my opinion on this. Because if you even make it at some point in your life, it's not about making it or anything, but if you're a womanizer, an alcoholic, a liar, somebody with that kind of behavior, then you should work on fixing them. To be honest, I think self-destructive behaviors like binge eating, compulsive gambling, and all this, everyone should become aware of these things and work on fixing as soon as they can. I understand it comes from somewhere. It can come from a past trauma, bad parenting, history of addiction in the family, but whatever reason it is, it will never fix the issue if you never acknowledge or battle against it. I've actually collected this piece from an article I read where the writer wrote, there are some more subtle forms of self-sabotage, actually, where the writer wrote, you may not realize you're doing it, at least on a conscious level. Some of these examples are being self-derogatory, insisting you're not smart, capable, or attractive enough, which means changing yourself to please others, clinging to someone who is not interested in you. And then we have engaging in alienating or aggressive behavior that pushes people away. There are chronic avoidance, procrastination, passive aggressiveness. And there are also people who wallow in self-pity. There was this particular website where they shared how one can come out of self-destructive behaviors, and I took out five of them. Five I found the most important ones that maybe you can use to come out of self-destructive behaviors. The first one is breaking that cycle of shame. You know, shame is a negative feeling. Saying I'm a bad person instead of like I did a bad thing. You do something bad and then you start blaming yourself. Well, I'm a bad person. Well, you're not a bad person, you did a bad thing. But if you realize it and work on not doing the same mistake again, that doesn't really make you a bad person. Engaging in those behaviors perpetuates the shame and leads to more self-destructive behaviors in the future. It can be a difficult cycle to break. Number two, don't believe the negative self-talk. Again, it's not easy to break a self-destructive habit, and negative self-talk only makes it harder. So don't give yourself that negative self-talk. Number three is get support. The power that you get from the support of your friends and family. Even if you don't have a family, there are most people have somebody in their lives that they can go to and talk to. If not, there's a therapist, there are help groups, there are people on the internet. Maybe there are a lot of help groups. There's one on Facebook called Healthy Minds in Bangladesh. If you know that one, that's a good group you can check out. So getting support is actually a really, really helpful way to get yourself out of your self-destructive cycle. Number four, use failure to learn. You probably won't be able to change all your self-destructive behaviors overnight, but you can use your failures. The things that you consider failures can help you learn better ways of curbing them next time. Think about what made you choose to engage in a self-destructive behavior against your better judgment. Then think about ways to navigate through the roadblock next time. This is the last one, but the best one: preparing ahead of time. You already know your failures. This behavior is bad for you. If you do this particular thing, it's going to affect you or maybe people around you. So you know all that now. You're gonna know when you do them. So in the future, you can prepare ahead of time. Once you're in the tricky situation, stay mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and attitudes, and try out your coping strategy. If it fails, use your failure to learn what you might do differently next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, or maybe learned something, and what you came to seek has been given to you. I tried to make this as short and simple as possible. So if you have self-destructive behaviors, work on them now, acknowledge them, and if you need any help, you can always text us. Our Facebook link is given in the description, and we are always welcoming people with open arms. Thank you.